Hello and welcome to the next revlog. I've recorded a couple of these and forgot to upload them, but we'll forget about that. That's not important. Why am I vlogging today? I had a very good reason that I have since forgotten, so I'm going to ramble a little bit, and hopefully we'll reach the right conclusion. Firstly, I'm drinking coffee. Anyone who recognizes the mug, congratulations. So, yes, I've just been reminded as to the cause of this vlog. Some people may realise by this point in my channel's life that I am incredibly sentimental. Like, vastly more so than is logical. And as a very logical person, that perturbs me. However, I wanted to commemorate an object of mine, or a pair of objects of mine, and that could be taken in a weird way, don't do that, that have served me well throughout many a year. I think it's first or second year of uni, so it's been like 8 years maybe. We have my slippers. Sadly, however, their life cycle has come to an end. Wearing shoes that are desiccated, destroyed, is not good for one's feet, and given my plethora of problematic health conditions, I need some better slippers. Now, I haven't got any as of yet. I have some in-between space slippers that don't have space for my toes. However, these marvellous creatures have seen me through thick through thin. However, they are a little bit broken, a little bit damaged, a little bit destroyed. There is no longer a viable choice of footwear. It is a shame, but I will be binning them today. I will miss them dearly. So, just to give you a little bit of history of their service of me, they served me obviously during the normal slipper activities, walking around the house with my flatmates, sitting in the living room, keeping my toes warm, playing D&D, walking to D&D, a couple-mile-long journey minimum from practically here too close to the city. Not that most people would realise what that distance is. I've gone clubbing in these slippers before. Truly, they were outstanding. And so I wanted to dedicate some time to their honour before they go in the bin. Now, that was the main purpose of this video. This revlog. In commemoration of my slippers. May they rest in peace. I'm open to slipper recommendations, obviously. The main thing is I need a wide toe box, because I have wide feet, and I am part of the relatively popular now movement of not having toes pinch in shoes. I remember the first time I noticed that was happening was with a pair of shoes. They were like AstroTurf trainers that I got when I was like 4 or 5, probably my first proper set of trainers. I noticed that my toes pinched after a little while wearing them. So when I wore them around the store, it was fine. Me mum bought them for me. They looked cool, but then if I wore them for too long, it really hurt. And gradually over time, that faded away. Toes going, and then I ended up like everyone else who wears standard shoes with pointy toes, and not in the like ballet way that they also have this problem, but in the your foot now looks more like a coffin shape rather than a triangle, I guess, which isn't ideal, I don't think. I definitely agree that having the spread helps with the proprioception, helps with the balance, helps with the foot integrity. So, in a goal of maximising my health and well-being, I need to find some more slippers. Obviously, that is a justifiable health expense, because I already have shoes with wide toe boxes, though I need to get some non-barefoot shoes with wide toe boxes, somewhere in between barefoot and like the chonky heels that I have. Not like high heel heels, but they're pretty thick-soled, because the thick-soled ones, they're gonna not help in the long run, but they might help in the short run with the plantar fasciitis that I'm struggling with. But I can't just think short term, because if I do, I'm going to end up with similar issues again in the future, most likely. And those shoes don't have a wide toe box. They are just trainers that are too big for me. That I tie the laces in a particular way that it works, but it's not like a super sustainable method. Then I have another set of trainers, much more comfortable, smaller heel, but still thick-soled, which the toe box isn't as wide as I would like, but overall tends to get the job done. They are more supporting of my feet, as a shoe should be, than the ones that are oversized. The oversized ones, they work, but in such a fashion as it doesn't rub the foot. It doesn't like cause blisters or anything, as you'd expect if you're wearing shoes that don't fit. It instead just doesn't move much, but that doesn't mean that it still supplies sufficient support. Whereas the other ones do supply sufficient support, but aren't quite wide enough. So I'm kind of in between good footwear at the moment. Whatever. You probably don't want to hear about my feet for 10 minutes, and I've already been talking for 7. So, why am I drinking coffee, you may wonder? Well, I bought coffee last year, and it was the type that you're meant to use a cafetiere for, like with the granules, not like the soluble ones, but like the tiny little soft circular bits and bobs. I don't know the term for it. However, that I found is disgusting if it gets in the bottom of like a mug or whatever. So I've not drank much of it, but I want to get through it. And I know that I'm going to have some caffeine today because I've got lots to do. Flatmate isn't here, so I'm making the most of the freedom of the flat. Hence why I can do this in the living room without fear of, well, being perceived doing it. I don't know. But also I've got 60 more push-ups to do this weekend, having completed 40. I also really want to do some lower ab and lower back work because they're really not good. It's affecting my posture at this point, and well, I really want to strang, you know. Plus, I've got to achieve some form of dietary requirements. For my weight is increasing rather than maintaining or decreasing. Once again, most likely due to my lack of activity as much as my diet. So, I'm going to mix up the both this weekend because it's a long weekend. Today and tomorrow I have the capability of potentially causing myself to burn out a little bit, but I will still have the Monday to recover. Big brain moves. Gotta optimize when I can. I do have stuff to do on the Monday. I have a podcast to record. I also want to do some more work on my secret voice acting project at some point today or tomorrow. I've done the washing. I need to put my bedclothes back on. I need to put the other clothes away. That sort of thing. I've done most of the hoovering. Almost all the housework's complete, pretty much. I've done some tidying. I'm going to go see my family, my mother and grandparents and perhaps brother, at some point this weekend. And I'm going to take with me a giant stack of papers. This giant stack of papers is the Parsley text adventure stuff. I tried to buy the hard copy, but it doesn't look like it ships to the UK. So I bought the PDF and printed it out. And it's quite a chunky beast. It's got like 290 pages or something like that. It's quite a lot. I had to keep refilling the paper in my printer. I'm sure it ate most of my remaining ink, so I'm going to have to get some more at some point soonish. But it was definitely worth it, and I don't print that often, so it's not a terrible expense. Yeah, I really want to run 1 or 2 of those at some point, because I have a weekly board game thing on a Monday. Doesn't always happen. I can't always make it when it does happen. Fatigue. But I try. And we've done a lot of board games. We have like 2 that we do regularly, which would be Escape the Dark Castle and Betrayal. We also do Horrified, various smaller games depending on time, and Dread. This weekly thing started out as a D&D thing where I played a wizard. Started off as a bard, transitioned into a wizard, different character, not a change class type dealio. Very cool. It was how I learnt after years of playing the game. Whilst I was conceptualizing this character, I wanted them to have a familiar that was a guard drake. It has different stats to a guard drake because that would be a little bit powerful. I'm hoping to eventually like level up my familiar to an actual guard drake, but for now it's got the stats of a Leonino from the Creature Codex by Cobalt Press. Pretty much it can fly, has very few hit points, AC, etc. Can't really attack. However, you can cast Dragon's Breath, 2nd level spell I believe, on a familiar, at which point it can use its action to breathe fire, which isn't an attack. Very good. Or a different element depending on what you choose when you cast the spell, which I then ported over to my other wizard in a different campaign because it's a really good ability, especially on flying familiars, because they can just napalm strike effectively. Obviously not that much damage, but it's still a hefty amount, especially at low levels. You can upcast the spell, I'm pretty sure, to do more damage, and I'm a proponent of making your own spells. So if upcasting it's terrible at later levels, just make a Greater Dragon's Breath spell. It's like I made a, I think, 5th level spell, Greater Hex, at some point. Greater Hex was when it takes damage from any source, it takes the extra d6, and it has to make a saving throw when you hex it, and I think it was a con save, and if it fails the con save, it also gets disadvantage on saving throws of the attribute that you chose, rather than just ability checks, which is pretty nice. I think that's relatively balanced, as has every DM I've played with. Is all good. Is all gravy, baby. I didn't end up using it very much, though. That was with a sorcerer, Insrahalianus, a Naga stone sorcerer. Stone sorcery being an unearthed arcana, if I remember correctly. Really sad that one hasn't made its way through yet. But that's fine. He was a big boy. Anyway, D&D's so cool, man. I've got. Let me turn this around. You see my minis over there? They're very small on here. Mini, you may even say. You might also notice a Mutalith Vortex Beast hiding in the corner, because Warhammer is cool now. It's not, but, you know, whatever. Oh, it's 8 o'clock because all of my snoozed emails are coming through. That's not cool at all. I have a scheduled call at 9:45 today, so I need to get more stuff done before then, obviously. My current plan, I'm thinking, is go for a quick walk, maybe to the shop or something. I figured I'd do this vlogaroo, because I'm going to take the bins out, so I'm going to put my slippers in the bin when I go. Do this before I go, because I have a soluble thingo. I can't remember what it's called. Let me get a thing. Barocca. Energy multivitamin thingo. which I'm dissolving in a water bottle to take with me on my walk. And I've got to drink up the old coffee before I go, otherwise it'll get cold. So, you know how it is. Yeah, so go for a walk, do some more push-ups. I've got the Flowers, Bring Sally Up song thingy, which I'm using for my ab workouts. Leg raises. The goal is to keep your feet off the ground the whole time. When they go up, you go up a little bit. When they go down, you go down a little bit. Not too far, that makes it too easy. You go just a little bit. Boosh. And then when it does the middle bit, you just go. The goal with the is to cause like imbalance, tension, etc. to force you to adapt whilst you're there to hold position. Then when I've exhausted myself through that and done the push-ups and whatnot, if I've got the energy left, I'm going to do hollow body hold V-sit type deal. Want to get some kung fu done. Want to go see my family, depending on how my training room is, because it's a storage room at the moment. If there's enough space, I'm going to try to quickly cram in my brain the kung fu form that I've written, because I need to make one up for my grading. Cram it, do it, record it, and then, having done so, send that to my instructor and say, hey, this is the form, is that good? Or acceptable, at least? And if so, I will learn it properly. Because if not, I don't want to learn it properly and then have to adapt it, because that's a terrible way of learning, but apparently I need to show them it rather than get them to read through it. Anyway. Whatever. This is getting on for 20 minutes now, but I still feel there's more to discuss. But I don't know what. There's one last thing I'm going to bring up. This might lead me on a tangent to discuss other things, but for now, this is the last thing. Okay. Just hold on. I'm nearly done. You see a shirt up there? You do. Well, the sun is out. It's very bright. I don't like it. It's painful. What I'm thinking is I've got some shirts that are like stained or too small, etc. So I'm thinking about making like a patchwork cloak type deal that I can wear, so I can have this vest to allow ventilation, and then put on the white fabric that is thin over the top, so that it will reflect some of the light away from me, to help me remain cool over summer. It'll be very patchwork, and it's something that I might talk to my mum about, because I know that she used to do like various sewing projects, so she might have a pattern for me to use or something. I also need to go through my random fabric amount, because I do have random fabric in a corner of my room. Anytime clothes break or need repairing or are too small, they just go in the random fabric pile, because cosplay is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I don't think I'm going to do it anytime soon, because learning the skills required to do it well, that's going to take a lot of time and energy. And you know, two things I don't have much of, even though it seems like I do, given this nearly 20-minute, highly energetic vlog. Time and energy! They're the things I don't have! Along with money. Anyway, yeah, so that's a plan. Make myself like a patchwork little thingo to help reflect the nasty sunbeams away from me. Because summer is not James's best time. Anyway, I'm going to go now before this actually reaches 20 minutes. So I will catch you cats on the flip-flop, and goodbye.